always get me. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
I love it.
How are you?
Hey,
How
I
are you?
am good. I am doing better. I was sick for a little while. So we talk about wellness. Man, if you don't take care of every aspect, mental, emotional, physical, man, it'll catch up. I was going too fast and my body said, nope, sit
No,
down. So
slow down.
yeah, slow down. So I am back to my normal, just allergies because Texas weather is Texas weather. But I feel good today. I'm excited to be here. How are you?
I it's been a while, people.
Mhm.
It's been a while. We are glad
Yes,
to be back. Life has been lifing.
life has been
So
life and
there are times we go with the flow, we tweak it,
mhm.
we twist, we bend, but we can only
Yes,
do what we can do best, especially taking care of yourself. So
yes,
that's why we want to talk today on how to heal from community setbacks,
yeah,
because we will have those moments where we have those setbacks. We need to know how to handle them.
yeah,
And the setback comes in so many ways, shapes, and forms. Do they build us? Do they break us? Do they do both?
yeah, yeah,
So evaluate yourself, see where you are. And one of the most striking setbacks is community related. How do you re-emerge from that?
yeah,
And when we talk about a sense of community, what are you thinking?
yeah, yeah. I'm glad we're talking about this topic. And for the new people here, welcome. We're so glad you're here. For the people that have been watching us for a little while, we appreciate you just thugging it out with us, with life and weather, and people are sick left and right. So, when you talk about community and really what that looks like, I think it's important to first identify what that means to you. I think, and I know Mercy and I, we're community, right? That's my
We
friend,
are.
that's my partner. We are community.
We are. Big
And
time.
if, big, yes. And if one of us are out of sync, we can tell by our voice, our tone, and our message, like, girl, what's going on, right? And so when you talk about community, it's saying, well, what is your community?
Mhm.
Like, who is your community? And my mind always goes to micro and macro. And just a quick
Yeah.
recap on what we've been talking about in wellness and it being holistic. And when I think of micro, those are the closer people, right? That could be,
Mhm.
your family, your close friends, your church, or your job, or your neighborhood, right? The little micro. And then it gets bigger, right? From just your maybe street to maybe your city to your county to your state
Mhm.
to your
Mhm.
country to other countries and things like that. And so when we talk about community and healing from setbacks, identify your community, right?
Yeah.
And then when we talk about the setbacks, those hurt. When your community fails you in some way, doesn't mean intentionally, it
Mhm.
doesn't mean maliciously. And I
Yeah.
know we living in some times, y'all. So I know sometimes it does,
Sometimes it
but
can be
it
intentional. Yeah.
can be. Yeah. But when they fail you in some way and they don't show up well for you, it can be a setback where now I no longer either feel I have community, that I want to even build community because I've already been hurt, or maybe it changes me, right? Maybe now I don't show up well for others because what's the point? So, hopefully, in this next hour, we'll talk about some of that hurt and how to turn our pain into purpose, right? And not
Yeah.
let
Yeah.
maybe some poor or negative situations create us to be not A, who we want to be, but B, not now step into the importance of what community is.
Right. Right. And I want to think about community in the sense that you're also thinking of the immediate micro part of it and the macro part, because either way, both of it will have an impact on us.
Yeah.
And we just want to also be very careful that we are not the one isolating from community and hurting ourselves. And sometimes you can also think about what is in the community that if I don't take care of it now, it will hurt somebody later or it will hurt you later.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a community recently, let me share this with you, where it, I could easily see a crisis that if not taken care of, it was
Mm-hmm.
an opioid crisis that I saw.
Mm.
It has devastated many communities. It has fractured families, and it is catching especially the younger ones who are growing up. And not only that, it is overwhelming the healthcare system. So if we do not rethink our approach, and I sat and I was looking at it, let me evaluate, let me assess, let me see what is going on. It feels like it was more a punitive response to harm. If we do not rethink our approach sometimes to know that sometimes in communities, people just need stronger awareness, education, and support. Just sitting there and punishing is not the way to go,
Mhm.
especially
Mhm.
when we belong to that community where it can affect our own families as well.
Mhm.
We don't
Mhm.
just sit and think that you're thinking that Angela will take care of it. Angela is thinking that Mercy will take care of it.
Mhm. Yeah.
As a community, let's come together and take care of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Let's recognize what is the crisis, what are we struggling with, and how do we take care of it? Because we can have the same crisis in different communities, but the approach is different how we want to take care of it.
Mhm. For
And
sure.
how does that community heal? How do
Mhm.
they come back?
Yeah.
How is there any personal experience that you want to share that you've observed as well and the impact?
Yeah, so I'm glad you said that because sometimes we look at community and we can get a little isolated, even when we may have a small group of people we're good with, and be like, well, that's them over there, or that's my neighbor, or they go to my church, but I'm not that close, or they go to my kids' school, but they got issues, right? Remembering that community is about bringing people together.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean we're all going to agree on something. It means that
No.
we're all working towards the same thing. We want our street to be clean. So we are going as a community to clean up the road, right? And so when you look at that, one of the things for me, building community is super important. And again, those micro macros. And some people that I have community with could be business, right? It could be personal. It could be relational as far as family, right? And when you look at that, for me, community comes in and says, who can I call? Who can call me? How am I contributing? How am I being of service, right? And making it not about me, but about us.
Yep.
And one of the things, because my personality
Ooh, not
is
me, not you,
not
but us.
about us, it's got to
Mm-hmm.
be about us.
Mm-hmm.
We are not a man on the island. And as humans, the brain work says people need people. And I know people are like, I'm introverted. I don't need no people. I don't like people. That is not true. We are humans, even back to hunter and gatherer days. They weren't just out by themselves, right? So we need people. Belonging is a sense of being able to fit in, to belong, validation. No matter how much you may fight against it, community is important, and we need people. So when we look at us and knowing my personality, I'm pretty good with showing up well for people in
Yes.
the way that I think sometimes they
Mm-hmm.
they may need, that may not, but I hold myself at a standard, sometimes a little too high, to say, I got to handle this. I'm a natural fixer. That's my
Mm-hmm.
personality. So I see something, I'm coming in and do, right? And what I've learned over the years is that, everybody can't keep up with my pace. My brain is going so much. I got all these things going on.
Yeah.
Everybody can't keep up. Even the people that work with me and for me, they're like, okay, Angela, hold on. What'd you say? And I'm
That was
like,
good.
oh, I just told you. So one of the things that in the past has happened in my experience was I expected that community to match me in my energy, in my drive, and like, oh, I want to do this, or come on, let's get it. And I had to learn that you can't expect yourself from other people, right, wrong, or indifferent. B, Angela, ain't about you all the time. It's not. No,
I
girl.
get that one right.
It is
Okay.
not about you all the time,
And I
right?
think that's what you're doing by identifying not just your strengths, but other people's strengths as well. And it
Yeah,
doesn't mean that because they don't have your strength, they are weak. They are just
exactly.
they just have their
Different.
own strength in
It's
different
different.
places.
It's different. And so
Mm-hmm.
I learned a long time ago that I just keep doing. Here's the thing. I got to keep showing up well for me so I can sleep up at night. I can't worry about, I have no control over anyone else. But usually what happens when I show up well, other people show up well to their capacity. And I've learned over the years to accept it. It doesn't mean I don't get annoyed sometimes. I'm human. Be like,
To
oh,
their
sir,
capacity.
you were supposed to be here at 5 or what. But then check yourself, because everybody has a mountain to climb. We all do, right? And so when those setbacks have come in the past, it's caused me to isolate. I got it. Don't worry about it. I got it. Don't worry about it. In a
Right.
bigger scheme of things, that is not a good mentality to have when you talk about holistic wellness, because I can't do everything by myself.
No,
I know
no.
this much of nothing, y'all. I know people be like, oh, Angela, you know this and went to school. So what? So what? I got some degrees. So what? Right? At the end of the day, there's so many people smarter than me. And so I tell you, and better than me and know me, whether they have degrees or not, don't let that be a measuring stick. So if you look
No.
at the community, I tell people you're the sum of the 5 closest people to you. And if you're the smartest one in the room, we got a problem.
You got a problem. You got to move
Right?
out. Go.
So as the
Mhm.
setbacks for me were more personal, and I had to realign and then build community in a way of empathy, openness, and collaboration. That's what changed for me
Mhm.
and why I'm able to build community different, where I don't take it personal. I'm not going to take it personal if people don't show up
Mhm.
well. I'm going to keep doing me. And then B, making sure that I am true and authentic, that it's okay no matter what happens. We'll be okay because we're leaning on each other. It's a we, not a me or a
Not
you.
in
It's
me, not
us.
in you. It's an us.
Mhm,
It's a we.
mhm,
It's an us thing. And I feel like sometimes too, people may have some crisis in the community and they don't know where to start. And I know I have approached you
mhm,
like, I know I gotta do this, but I don't
mhm,
know where to start.
mhm.
And you're like, okay, all right. Okay. When you start talking with your hands, I listen. I'm like, okay, this has to be done. Where do we start? That can be a challenge for some people as well. What are
Mhm.
the first steps a community should take when facing a major challenge? So you have acknowledged the reality,
Mhm.
because if you don't acknowledge it, if you're only in denial, it can delay the action that you
Mhm.
need to take.
Yeah. Yep.
Recognize the full scope of the problem is key.
Mhm.
Then remember, it's community. So
Mhm.
it's not just your voice.
Mhm.
Get the leaders, get the stakeholders, get the residents, get
Mhm.
come together to assess the needs, because the eyes, the lenses that you use to see that need,
Mhm.
another
Mhm.
person may be seeing it through another lens.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
have to agree that okay, and like Miss Angela says, she knows her strengths.
Mhm.
She knows how she show up. I know how I show
Mhm.
up,
Mhm.
and it will be different. Even in crisis, you want to, especially in crisis, even you want to identify your strengths,
Mhm.
because there is a crisis, yes, but the community still have access. They
Yeah.
still have resources. They still have social networks, things that you can tap into. So, what
Mhm.
are you good at? What are you good at? What are you good at? And this is how we are going to rebuild.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to prioritize immediate relief. Is it safety? Is it food?
Mhm.
Is it
Mhm.
financial aid? Is it basic needs?
Mhm.
Recognize those priorities. Then
Mhm.
you develop short term plans and long term plans.
Yeah.
So I learned some of that from you, and it is very important that you have someone where you can ask something.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes, this is the problem, but where do I start?
Right.
Know how to start. You're
Yeah.
like, did you visit your council? Did you visit your rural this? Did you
Mhm.
visit your
Mhm.
comment center? Did you visit this?
Mhm.
So, meaning that sometimes we can have some different roles to play.
Mhm.
And sometimes you have leadership roles in community where they can help that community to heal.
Mhm.
Ha- Do you know your leaders in your community?
Mhm. Yeah. In saying that, I think as right now, we're in a climate that's really tough. And I've been
Mhm,
having a lot of conversations lately
mhm,
because so many people feel that we're in a crisis. It's Women's History Month, and so many things for women are being taken and changed. And
mhm,
we just came off of Black History Month, and we know things have been changed and things are transitioning. And somebody I was talking to, they were like, people are just eating and they're going shopping and they're getting gas and all these horrible things are happening. And they were struggling because they're like, I am so empathetic. All I want to do is cry. I'm so angry and all these feelings. And so when you talk about leadership in the community and starting it at maybe micro, who's the leader in your family? Right? Is there a matriarch or patriarch or somebody, an aunt, a cousin, a sister, younger or older, a brother, a niece that you know you can go and they have a leading spirit and they
Yep.
can, right? Well,
Mm-hmm.
what about at your job? Are there things that are happening at your job that you don't agree? Do you trust somebody in leadership to go talk
Mm-hmm.
to? Your community, small, your city, who's your council people, right? Are you letting your voice being heard? Community stuff, not only the climate of the world we're living in, but maybe the street light has been out, right? And people are
Absolutely.
speeding
Yep.
or there's a pothole. Do you know those leaders? And then take it further. Are you in a church? What do your leaders say? What are those things that are happening? Do you know where to go? Do you
Mm-hmm.
struggle when you talk about steps? Do you struggle with speaking out? I work with a lot of people that aren't as assertive and they don't like confrontation. So I'm like,
Yeah.
say less. You know what? Have you thought about signing a petition? Have you
Mm-hmm.
thought about creating an email, copy and paste, and just sending them and sending them and sending?
Mm-hmm.
You can use your voice in ways that doesn't have to be as confrontational as you may want. So
Yeah.
when you're talking about the
And
leadership,
to add to that, I want to say transparent communication.
yeah,
That way, you're
mhm,
keeping the community informed,
yes,
and together you're making a collective decision.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
when there is that sense of togetherness, it fosters unity.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I feel like I am saying something or I'm speaking and I'm yelling and screaming, even if you're not projecting your voice, I'm calling out for help and nobody hears me, what do you think I'm going to do?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to retreat.
You're going to
They're
retreat,
not
and
going to
you're going to
show up.
feel behind.
Yeah, yeah.
You're
I
gonna you're not just gonna feel behind. You're gonna feel left behind.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yes. And people feel unheard and invisible. So when you talk about the leadership role, and remember, leadership does not mean the person with the most power or money.
No.
Leadership is somebody that you see, that you respect. Sometimes it's how they conduct their life. You're like, wow, I really want to be better in finance. And you seem to me to be the expert there.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to that person. They can be leaders. Yes, we know structurally there are leaders. We have president, vice president, council. We know those things too.
And one thing I know about your own leadership style, one thing I really know about that, as much as you don't enable, you empower rather than impose, which is very
Thousand
good.
percent. Yeah,
Right. Which
thousand
is very
percent.
good. And as leaders, especially in collective trauma, going
Mm-hmm.
through all these
Mm-hmm.
community
Mm-hmm.
challenges, you
Yeah.
want that kind of leader who can not add more stress to
Right.
what's going on,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
can empower you and give you that sense of fulfillment that we are
Yeah.
in this together, which is very good, wonderful. And we will never talk about anything without talking about the role of mental health,
Mm-hmm.
the role of
Mm-hmm.
how important is mental
Mm-hmm.
health support in the healing process as a community.
Yeah. Yeah. I think sometimes people think healing is linear
Oh,
in general.
I hope we have passed that.
People do. They're like, I should be feeling better. This should be better. Why are we going backwards? All these things. And I'm like, healing is not linear.
Mm-mm.
Healing is messy and sucky and dirty and crying and yelling and screaming and cussing and weight loss and hair loss. Like
Eh,
healing is not linear. And
no,
so it means that it's really rough in all aspects. So
mhm.
mental health is a direct connection to everything. Your body stores trauma in your muscles and DNA, generational trauma, interage, historical trauma, all these things that
I'm like
happen.
you say your muscle, you wake up with muscle ache.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
responding to your thoughts.
yes. Like, why did you know that statement? They say you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and I was like, no, you didn't. You didn't deal with whatever was dealing with it. You know, your
Mm-hmm.
brain was dealing with you. Both sides of the bed are fine. It's
Mm-hmm.
not the bed, right? And so when you talk about mental health and understanding that your brain is wired in a way that it will trigger pain signals no matter what.
Yeah.
So you're in
Yeah.
pain because maybe that community has failed you. Maybe you spoke out and they didn't do anything. Maybe you felt you couldn't speak out, whatever it is. And then the brain tells you, well, you're safe. Don't talk. Don't say anything. See, people fail you. And we're going to curl up in our cocoon and we're no longer
Mm-hmm.
going to be vulnerable
Yeah.
to anybody else. Because building community takes vulnerability.
It
Building
takes
community,
vulnerability.
yes, it
It takes
takes work.
vulnerability. And most of the time, people are so quick to heal the physical side and they overlook
Mhm.
the mental part of it. But
Yeah,
yet, that mental recovery is foundational, especially for long term healing.
1000%.
I witnessed a case where some people were being kidnapped, and when they were rescued, it was assumed that, oh, now you're back home, you're fine, you're away from your kidnappers. But nobody took the time to address their mental state. So people were still surprised, like, you've been home now for 4 months. Why are you still in your corner?
Mhm,
Why are you still behaving like? Because
mhm.
they are still kidnapped in their minds. Though it
Absolutely.
was never rescued. So as we are building community rescueness, as we are
Yeah,
recovering from setbacks in the
yeah,
community, mental health is the foundational for long-term healing. And we have to
1000.
make sure that if we are not addressing the grief, anxiety, or burnout, people may still struggle during the rebuild process. Because
Exactly.
as
They'll
communities,
avoid it. They'll just
yeah,
avoid rebuilding, period. Yeah,
right. As
yeah.
communities, we should offer accessible mental health
Mhm,
services. We should
mhm,
provide trauma-informed training because communities
mhm,
go through trauma. And we should
mhm,
normalize seeking
mhm.
the help, even
Yeah,
through public messaging and storytelling. Like
yes, absolutely.
this trauma that I went through, I felt it this way, and you may have felt
Mhm.
it this way. We should not
Yeah,
assume that one way can fix all.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I tell my clients all the time, the body keeps a score and the brain never forgets, right? And so when you talk about these crises and these community setbacks where you're so hurt, that statement, that thing a lot of kiddos expect in America used to be told, sticks and stones may hurt your bones, but words will never hurt you or something. And I'm like, that's the biggest lie you told kids. Your
Mhm.
bone will set. But that memory and physical sensation of the abuse that caused that broken bone will never go away. I can reset a
Nope.
bone. So we look at healthcare
Nope.
overall in the medical model. You go in and say, I'm having these reactions and I can't breathe. I'm having a heart attack. And they're like, no, you're fine. It's in your head. Go see psych.
Mhm.
Well,
Mhm.
wait a
Mhm.
minute. But I feel like I'm dying. And they're like, your EKG is fine. And, when you go in the
Yep.
emergency room,
Yep.
palliative care, they're like, hey, we ran labs. You're good. Follow up, with the mental health provider. Unfortunately, so many people don't. Sometimes it's access. They don't know where to go. Sometimes
Mhm.
it's financial. Sometimes it's shame because, like Mercy said, that stigma is still so
It's
heavy.
still so
Still
heavy.
so
It's still
heavy,
there. And
especially when you look at the
because the
cultural aspect.
physical pain is not there, does not
Mhm.
mean we should not address the emotional pain.
Yes. And let me tell you something. I don't know who y'all been speaking to, but depression causes physical pain. And if
Pain.
anybody tells you anything different, you tell them to come call me. Because absolutely, depression causes physical pain. And so when you're looking at that, if I'm in pain and I go to the hospital, to the ER, and say I'm in pain, and they run the test like they're supposed to, and it comes back negative or inconclusive, they're like,
Mhm.
hey, there's nothing wrong. And
There's
now
nothing.
you're like,
Yeah, you're
yeah,
fine.
you're fine. And
No,
you're
you're
like,
not.
I'm not fine. And now you're like, well, maybe I'm crazy. Something's wrong. And now I don't want to tell anybody because you guys just told me I'm fine. And although I'm telling you and screaming out for help, everybody's telling me I'm fine. You should get
Mhm.
over it. You should be strong. You should be thankful. Pray about it. Do all these things. And all those things are great. And still, you're not getting your needs met. So the community that you have may not be the community that you need.
That you need. And sometimes the community that you want may also
Mm-hmm.
not be the community that you need.
Mm-mm.
You have to
Mm-mm.
be true to yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have to acknowledge, be present with yourself. Acknowledge even the unspoken words that you cannot voice them. Acknowledge them because
Yeah.
you need to move forward from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
especially for long-term healing. It will haunt you
Hmm.
if you just feel like I'm okay today. What is the plan for I'm okay tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah. If you think about showing up well, mental health wise, I want to be able to call my community in any aspect and say, I'm struggling and I
Mm-hmm.
need you.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean you're going to show up for me in the exact same ways. It means
And you'll be
I need
surprised
you.
how many people will respond.
Yep.
Sometimes we are in our corner
Hmm.
just because we
Hmm.
have not spoken it,
Right.
just
Right.
because we have not. It just take one text like,
Hmm.
I'm struggling and I need you.
Hmm.
Because even when communities can make some common mistakes in rebuilding, like ignoring the mental health that we talk about,
Hmm.
the emotional wounds that are not healed,
Hmm.
not because I did first aid on what is going on, doesn't mean that the emotional wounds are healed. No, they
Hmm.
can also make mistakes by neglecting the marginalized group. The low income families
Hmm.
or the minorities are sometimes not included in the decision making
Yeah.
of how to rebuild that.
Exactly.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes we focus on short term fixes and just put it, mold things and just put them there. If
Yeah.
long sustainability is not considered, the same issues may return if we are just focusing
Absolutely.
on the short term. And
Absolutely.
we want to make sure you cannot come and fix my community without talking about the people who live, without talking to the people who live in
Hmm.
the community.
Hmm.
Because you'll
Hmm.
be making uninformed decisions, you'll be making ineffective solutions,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
the community will continue. So
Yeah.
when we are
1,000%.
doing all this, let us remember that sometimes we just need to reach out.
Yeah.
Help is just one phone call away.
Yeah.
Help is just
Yeah.
one phone
Yeah.
call away. And
Yeah.
you're not alone. Do
You're
not
not.
struggle alone for nothing. Do not struggle alone
Yeah.
for nothing.
And it
Especially
may
when it
feel
is,
like it, but you're not. Yeah.
it may feel like it for real. It may feel like it, but you are not.
Yeah.
Do you see? We may talk all this, and some people are like, okay, okay. But even those people who are going through that, how can we even give them hope or motivate them during difficult times?
Yeah. So one of the things I say all the time, we repeat what we don't repair. And
I like that.
so,
Repeat, but we
yeah,
don't
we
repeat.
repeat what we don't repair. And so when we look at, I hear what you're saying and it sounds good. Like you talk well, you must know something, you've been around a while, you've lived life. But what does that mean? And my day to day is still the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
My car's broke down. I don't have money. My street lights out. My job sucks, right? Those things. And it comes back in kind of what you said earlier, where I empower, it's accountability. Because
It
let me
is.
tell you,
It
if you're
is.
saying, we'll talk about community, with work, I have bills and I got to pay bills and this job sucks and they're treating me
Mm-hmm.
negatively. And maybe I've went through HR and I've went through things and they're not doing anything, right? I worked at a hospital, we shall not name, in the past, and they would bring down these rules and changes without talking to the staff to see who are with the clients all day. Say you
Mm-mm.
should do this, and some of the people making those decisions, you've never even worked with an adult, right? Like you've never been in the situation. And I would sit there and I would say, I'm not doing that. And the idea was not that I'm just so defiant. It's that's not effective because I had to stand on business no matter what that meant. It didn't mean I didn't have bills. It,
No.
I didn't need my job. It meant that I had to trust myself enough to say, I'm standing on business. And if they choose this, then something else will come. So
Right.
about hope and motivation, it's saying, how much do you have faith in you? How much do you believe that you are worth
Oh, I like that. Believe.
accepting? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you are
Like
worth
that.
more. There is no prerequisite for worthiness. This is what Viola Davis said. It was such a great speech. And it's true. You were born worthy. So are you in communities that don't serve you anymore?
Mm-hmm.
You in communities because you feel complacent or comfortable? Let's
Mm-hmm.
be honest. And you're not willing to make that change. Maybe you don't know how. Maybe it's fear. But everything you want is on the other side of fear. So maybe it's this job and they suck and you hate it. Okay, bet. Are we tweaking our resume? Have we reached out to other people? Hey, I need to leave this job. What do you know? Have we marketed ourselves well? Have we changed some things? Have we tweaked our resume? Have we went to a resume writing class? What are
Mm-hmm.
the things that are in your control? And you take accountability, say, I don't want to be stuck here anymore.
Right.
I don't know what to do, but let me Google how to get unstuck.
How to get unstuck.
Let me Google writing workshops, right? That help. There's a lot of community organizations like community colleges and even some rec centers that do free resume writing and free or low cost things to help you maneuver. The workforce center will
Mm-hmm.
help you go in there. And it's like, well, I went there and they were rude. Okay, well, go back.
Go back,
Right?
go again.
Where's your accountability? Say,
Sometimes
I
it
don't
takes
like my life and I
repetition.
want to
Yeah.
change it.
Yeah. You said something that I really want to reiterate.
Mhm.
You talked about hope
Mhm.
and belief.
Mhm.
This, to me, this is saying that hope is not just optimism.
Mhm.
It
Yeah,
is a belief in action.
it's action. Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because you can make all the speech. If nothing goes behind that, it will
Mhm.
just be a wish, it will just be a hope. It is a belief in action. And
Mhm.
sometimes during recovery, let us not just look at what is all
Mhm.
bad. Those
Mhm.
small steps that we take forward, let us recognize and celebrate those small wins
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
gain more motivation to move forward, because you can
Yeah.
start seeing the light.
Yeah.
Volunteer, support neighbors. What do you
Mhm.
need? You can just knock it. Are you okay? We
Mhm.
know those older people in the community who may
Yeah.
not be able to go to the store. Hey, I'm running errands on Fridays. Do you need me to pick up anything for you?
Yeah.
Finding purpose. When
Mhm.
you volunteer, you're finding purpose.
Yeah.
Then you can share uplifting stories of resilience. Those
Yeah.
people who are so down, tell them, hey, this
Yeah.
happened before. Together we can overcome this. And sometimes you just have to lean on your faith, your
Mhm.
culture, your spirituality, and your belief.
Yeah.
Don't
Your
just
belief.
wish, put
Yeah.
some action behind it, because that is what will change something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that in motivation, right? I hear this all the time. I'm not motivated. I'm not motivated. I'm like, motivation in the brain. Here's a nugget for y'all. Google it, right? The motivation doesn't come before the doing. That's not how your brain is set up. So we don't wake up and be like, I'm so motivated to run a mile. No, right? What happens is it's like I'm running the mile because I know it's good for me, so I'm going to get out there. And as you're going, it's like the Flintstones card. Y'all know
Yes.
Flintstones, right? Fred,
I'm
whoever had to
walking,
start with the
I'm
stick.
gaining the motivation.
Then it comes, and then that's when motivation comes. Then consistency comes, and ambition drive. Oh, I can do hard things. Wait a minute, I did the mile. It may have took me an hour, but I did it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to do it again. So motivation is not pre-work. It doesn't come like that. The brain is going to kick it into gear, but we got to do the thing.
We got to do it. We got
And one of the things I want to share, I am very much somebody in the now who's very different than who I was. And I
Are
wasn't.
you? I've always known you like this.
I know it's in certain ways, right? But really,
Are
I
you different? I've always known what I'm looking at right now, and
look,
that is what
y'all.
I love.
I don't know who's watching, but if anybody who know me in the past, y'all know they'd be like, Angela was a thug, right? Like I as somebody, I was young, I was a teen mom. My mom kicked me out when I was 16 with my kiddo. She's fine. I've forgiven her. Don't get on my mom, right? She did what she
All
thought
right.
was right, right? And I've been on my own since then. And I was on welfare and I was on food stamps and I had been evicted and I wasn't stable and I was dibbling and dabbling and doing things. But in me, something was greater than what was out here in this world. And I always had confidence and I always was like, I can do anything. But for a long time, I was very angry. I felt the world owed me something. It
Yeah.
wasn't fair. I
Like,
shouldn't
why
be here.
you?
Why me, bro? I'm a good person, right? I'm nice. Why? But because that anger was so heavy, I'm fighting everybody. I'm cussing people. I was not a nice person. Although people know me like, yeah, you're nice. Yeah, I was nice, but I was also very angry and anger led. That's my go to emotion. Even to now, I've just learned how to use my powers for good, not for evil. But anger was so hard, and I was so angry, and I was angry at the state of the world, and I was angry at this. And it didn't have anything to do with intelligence because I'm super smart. It didn't have anything to do with socioeconomic. It didn't have anything to do. It was the fact that my community failed me. And my community back then was my family,
Yeah.
right? I was a
Even
kid.
at
I had a kid
16,
at
yeah,
16,
at
right?
16.
My school, people failed me. And because they failed me, I felt that they owed me something. And people say, well, they did, Angela. You were a kid and it's not fair. And I'm not dismissing any of those things.
Mm-hmm.
But if you owe me something, there is now a monetary value on my life. I tell people, don't let nobody say they owe you. You don't owe me anything
No,
because I'm priceless.
I
You owe TXU. If you don't pay that bill, they're going to turn your lights off.
you
But,
are priceless.
right? So, as you, as a human, there is no monetary value. No one owes you anything. And yes, life may have sucked, your community may have failed you, but real talk, y'all, you have to be the one to decide you want a better life. So this 16-year-old teen mom, and then I have two great sons who I adore. By 18, I had two kids, and now fast forward, my kids are grown and things like that. To start a business that turned into six figures, who started out as a teen mom on welfare, don't tell me what you can't do. Tell me how come.
Yeah.
How come? And what do you need from your community to get you there? I work a lot with people just because I want you to win. I want you to win. And so we have to be honest and say, I'm not doing the things that I can do. Not what I can't, because I don't know. But we know if you eat yum yums and goodies and don't work out, or don't, you gonna have high cholesterol or diabetes or gain weight. Don't come and say, Angela, I'm so mad. I'm so sad that I'm gaining weight. And I'm like, girl, you just ate a cheesecake every day. There's accountability that comes in. And so it doesn't say we're not depressed. It doesn't say we don't have money. It doesn't say we lack resources. We're not saying that. Two things can be true. It can be very hard, and you can do better, and you can win, and you can be successful. But if you
And
don't
you
reach
can
out, we don't know.
choose, you can choose what that trauma do for you. Are you going to stay angry,
Yeah.
or are you going to, will you let it build you up?
Mhm.
Will you let it break you?
Everything you wanted is on the other side of fear. Mercy said a second ago, I've always known you. You're always like this. But if you look, I'm from San Diego, and if you go back to a couple neighborhoods in San Diego and go ask them about me, they're not going to have the same opinion of me that Mercy does. I promise you, even to this day. And I can't change that. So I don't live in regret. I'm not
Mm-mm.
saying that, I cry every night. I'm not saying that. I've forgiven myself. I made some mistakes. I can't change it, but it doesn't have to define me. So who you are, you can change everything about you and be well.
If all you got are lemons, learn how to make some lemonade. I did not know that part of you, and this is
Yeah.
what this is making me. Not that I've always been proud of you. You're my own therapist when I want to talk. I've always been in your amen corner, but this is very motivating because it is inspiring. Sometimes some people have to see and hear
Mm-hmm.
the what they can think like, oh my God. So
Mm-hmm.
you too can be sad. So
Mm-hmm.
you too can have some anger. So
Mm-hmm.
you too can have this. Oh wow. Then
Yeah.
I can be better. And
Yeah.
it's making me thinking of storytelling. I come from a culture
Yeah.
where we have folklores, we have
Mm-hmm.
storytelling, we have what role does storytelling play in healing from community setbacks? This is a good story. This
Yeah.
is a good story. All
Yeah.
you out there who think
Mhm.
that it is not fair, my mother threw me out, I got pregnant at 16. This is a story to hold on. Don't just see the other side. Because
Mhm.
stories help communicate process,
Absolutely.
and it communicates that the trauma is not all you should see.
Yes.
Also see the solutions.
Mhm. Mhm.
Stories help communities to honor resilience and inspire again. I'll say it again and again, and inspire action. Don't just sit and think the world owes you something.
Mhm. Yeah. Take that
And
grip off.
ensure that history was not forgotten. Ensure that you may not look back and gain the pain, but just look back and gain the lesson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
stories will circle.
Mhm.
where residents share experiences, where communities share
Mhm.
experiences.
Yeah.
And you're sharing this, you're not the only person out there who got pregnant at 16 and was kicked out of the house.
Mhm.
So these are
Mhm.
shared experiences that you can help identify yourself with
Yeah.
through storytelling. Do not be too
Mhm.
ashamed of your story
Exactly.
that it keeps locking you instead of freeing you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That story, if you think about that story,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
will heal me, it will heal the next person. You
Mhm.
just share this. Even those who are not watching now, when they watch later,
Mhm.
they will feel something.
Yeah.
Like your story can free you and can free others.
Yes.
So storytelling is good. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for sharing.
Sure. You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much for sharing that. And these are things that happen in our communities. Even
It
today, it is
happens
still happening
even
in
today.
communities. And
Mhm.
if how can younger generations be, because sometimes they are left out, like, oh my, how can they be involved in the recovery process, because they
Mhm.
are affected too. some
Yeah.
some of our choices affect them. Some
Mhm.
of the, like I
Yeah.
talked about opioids, where do they
Mm.
get it from?
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
see, even the vapes these days, they don't even look like how vapes used to look like. It's
Yeah.
fancy, it's decorated,
Yep.
it smells good,
Exactly. They're
it's
marketing to that.
attractive, it's
Mhm.
attractive and it's appealing.
Mhm.
How do
Yes.
you get involved in the
Yeah.
recovery process? One person was asking me about our wellness coming, our conference coming on, which we are going
Yes.
to touch before we leave.
Yeah.
One person was asking me that next time when you all do a conference, can you guys involve kid speakers?
Mhm. 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 Yeah. Yeah. You know, kids are great and young people. I think in the now, in the climate we live in, young people are getting more involved. They want to know because technology, good or bad, social media, good or bad, right,
Mm-hmm.
opens them up to more stuff than for when some of us were younger and we didn't have access. So they want to know, they want to participate,
Mm-hmm.
they want to, boycott, and they want. I had a kiddo that was like, I'm not shopping at Target anymore because the DEI, and they are a Target kid,
Oh,
right? And they were talking about that in therapy, and I was like, well, tell me what you know, because they're 13, and they were like, oh, I looked up this, and they got online and they did the research, and they were like, there's other stores, and they want to be heard. And I think because for so long kids are seen, not heard, so many young
mm-hmm.
people get their voice taken away, and sometimes
Yeah,
malicious, sometimes cultural, right? Because we forget kids are little humans. They're not your puppet, they're not your property. They're people with feelings, emotions, and thoughts.
with
Let
a
these
lot of
kids speak.
energy, with a
Let
lot of
them speak.
energy, a lot
Yes.
of creativity.
Yes. Kids are learn what we teach and show them. So what is your community showing those young people? Are they
Mm-hmm.
showing them that they need to shut up and kids are seen, not heard? Are they showing them that because they're young and they can't vote, they don't have a voice? Or is your community empowering kiddos to say it doesn't matter how small you are in stature or what your age, you can make a difference? Are
Mm-hmm.
we training good humans? I
Mm-hmm.
don't care what you believe in. I don't care what your ethnic background. I don't care how much money you make. Are you a good human?
Right.
Are you being good
Yeah.
to people? And are you allowing young people to make sure that they're heard? And I think for them being in the recovery process, it's more about letting them say what they
Say
need to say,
yes.
letting them be involved in one of the things they want to do. So,
Mhm.
with schools and with everything happening, one of my kiddos that I've worked with for a long
And we
time,
are forgetting that kids are the long-term investments in the community.
yes, and one of my kiddos that I've worked with for a long time, they had a lot of anxiety because of school shootings and
Oh
because
yeah.
they struggle so much they ended up homeschooling. And one of the things
I
they
see a
told
lot
me,
of them as
yeah,
well.
yeah, one of
I
the
see a
things they
lot of
told
them.
me is they want to create some type of wall of protection for when the teachers close the door, no one can get in. And they started designing it, and they talk to their parent, and the parent talked to a school, right? It may never come to fruition, but nobody dimmed that kiddo's light. And you know what? That kiddo ended up back in public school. They went back to school because not only did they have this idea that people heard, the parent heard, the teacher heard, the school principal heard,
Oh,
they went to like a town hall meeting and this kiddo spoke, and it empowered that kiddo to say, I can do something, I can make a change. Even if it doesn't happen, they heard me. And because of that, they still have anxiety. Don't get me wrong. They're still
mhm.
afraid because it's a real
It's a
fear.
consistent process. It's an
It's
ongoing
still a,
process that they are
yes.
getting better.
But yet they were empowered by somebody who said, you are important, and what you say and what you do is important. And that allowed them to go and get back into things they enjoyed. So making sure we hear them, making sure we give them a platform and a voice, make sure we don't dismiss them because they doing TikTok dances and they like this.
They will
No.
take care of our communities
Yes.
tomorrow when we are
Yes.
not able to.
Yes.
And if
Raise
you
good women.
listen to them, sometimes you will see their creativity will
Hmm.
expand.
They're so smart.
And
So
they are
much
so
stuff.
energetic. They
Yes. I'm
bring
like,
the energy, they
yes.
bring the fire, they bring the let's go moment. We can do this, we
Mhm.
can do this. They are so energetic. And we cannot just be talking about community giving hope. We talk about action, right?
Action.
We talked about action, and we are taking some action this month. We are
Yes.
not just building hope. We said hope is a belief in action. We
Hmm.
have decided, if you guys are following our wellness page on Facebook or on YouTube, we have decided to put some action behind what we are talking about. Our wellness conference, March 28th and 29th. Just the thought of it
Yes.
tickles me.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
You want to talk a little bit
Yeah.
about?
I am so excited. I am somebody that I enjoy presenting and I enjoy giving back to the community. Mercy and I are definitely like
Yes,
minded in that. And
yes.
when we discuss building something that is consistent and that community can count on, it's opening up this conference for 2 days, March 28th and March 29th, to bring experts in the field of different wellness topics: financial, spiritual, emotional, mental, substance abuse, LGBT
Everything.
issues. We're touching a lot of things for the community. That means the community is welcome to come. That means everybody. It doesn't matter if you're a professional or not, if you're a doctor or a lawyer, if you have a business down the street. It doesn't matter what you do. If you're in school full time, if you're a stay-at-home mom, all those things are important. And what we want to do is connect people, let them know what's out there, network. We're going to have vendors there, vendors that have programming in the area, resources. We're going to have vendors that sell different things. We have spots still left for vendors to come out and showcase who they are so that people know. Again, I don't know who's out there unless I go. And so we're
Absolutely.
asking you to come out and partner with us. Now, it is $100 ticket for both days. Now,
Hmm.
somebody asked me, they said, that is very low. Why are
That
you
is
doing a
right. They're like, how are you
Because,
guys going to sustain
right,
people for that
because it
price?
comes with, we're going to feed you. We have raffle prizes. We have food and snacks and bags and swag bags. The reason is because this is not about money for us. It doesn't mean me and Mercy are millionaires. We are not.
No,
Trust us.
no.
We got bills. It means that we have to stand on business and be authentic. And we teach people how to treat us. So we want to
Yes.
say we are coming there, spending our time and energy to pour back into community who has poured into us. And this year's conference is in Arlington, and we did that because it's central,
It's
right? It
central.
is central. You can get from Dallas Fort Worth, whether you're out in Frisco, you can get to the venue within 30 minutes of most places in the DFW, and it's at the Bob Duncan Center. We're renting out the
Ooh,
Bob Duncan Center,
beautiful
y'all. This
place.
is not just, in my backyard, even though y'all come my backyard, but it is a venue, right? So when we have the ticket price, it's because we're got to pay for a lot of stuff.
We have
That
to pay
ticket
for the
price is
hall.
not going to reimburse us for the amount of money we put in. And I'm
No.
not saying that to dismiss anybody that does conferences and they make money. I'm all about make your money, get your bag. For us as mental health
Health
providers, it is
providers.
important for us to give back to the
Give back to
community.
the community that we serve.
Period. We serve these,
Create
and
that connection with our
yes,
community. We
we want to be
serve
of service.
outreach programs. We
Yes,
serve wide and far.
yes,
We want to see you. We want to
yes,
know you. We want to connect and network with you.
yes,
And not just with
yes.
us, but with other people who are going
Mhm.
to be there.
Yes,
We have
there's
great
going to be
speakers.
great people coming. And also on Friday, because one of the things we were talking when we started this, I said, Mercy, people come after work or this, let's have the kids there Friday. So
Yes.
Friday, bring your kids for
Let's kick off
free.
the weekend with the children.
Yes, bring off the kids for free. We're going to have stuff for them to do. They're going to be in their own area, chilling, doing their things. You're going to be in another area. In a breakout session and things like that. We're going to feed you dinner. And here's the thing, you coming, one paid adult, bring your kids. I don't care if you got 5 kids or 12
Bring
kids.
them.
You hear me? One paid
They
adult,
will
you bring
eat.
your kids.
They will
You
have
bring
arts
your
and
neighbor's kids,
crafts.
your nieces, right? Your cousins.
I am already
So
visualizing it.
remember that we're doing that because we want to make it as easy as possible for you to show up. Now,
Yes.
Saturday is not kids. That's all day breakout sessions, different topics, and you'll be able to choose, right? You'll be able to say, I want to go to this session or not. But we want you to come out and partner with us. We want you to come and hear these fabulous speakers,
We want to
all
give you
experts.
guys some big hugs.
All experts who are coming out to say, hey, we
Hey.
hear and see you. We want to
Mhm.
support you. And
Yes.
so please share the word. Please come out. Please look at Our Wellness Unlocked. You can send us an email at ourwellnessunlocked at
At
gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Our Wellness Unlocked at gmail.com. You can look at All Mercy's website. You can look at Acacia's website. You can go to Our Wellness Unlocked on Facebook, Our Wellness Unlocked on YouTube. I know y'all like, girl, I get it. Our Wellness Unlocked.
And I want to seize this opportunity to thank some of our donors. They
Yes,
understand the mission, they understand our passion, and
yes,
they are helping us
yes.
give back to the community.
Yes, we have people that have donated
Oh,
all the
Lord.
snacks, right? Miss Kimberly Farrell, she did all the snacks for us, and Mr. Ozy, he did the
Yep.
breakfast things. We have platinum sponsors,
Platinum
Arise
sponsors.
Recovery and LD Low Wealth Advisory. They're sponsoring and partnering with us. They believe in helping, meeting, connecting,
Connecting,
and
giving
touching the
back to the
community well.
community,
Yes,
and even to
yes,
our awesome speakers. Thank you for
yes.
your time
Yes, their
to come and
time.
help us impact the community in
Yes,
ways that are beneficial, that
yes,
we stay connected. And what does connection bring? Unity and growth. That
yes,
is what we want for our community.
yes,
Unity and growth. And put collective efforts in
yes.
building strongholds that we want. Because when the
Mhm,
community is strong, we
mhm,
feel safe and we function. Our capacity become unbound. We
mhm,
function at
mhm.
our highest potentials.
Yes,
It's not just
yes.
about me. It's not just about you. It's about us.
Us. And
Let's.
remember, it is the support, it is that accountability to say, I'm coming to get my cup refilled. It's about that motivation. Remember,
Yeah.
motivation don't come until the doing. Well,
Mm-mm.
do it. Get out there, come and hang out with us and spend some time, and listen to these topics and get
Mhm.
the resources. There are going to be handouts. There's going to be so many people there with all kinds of goodies and things to give you so that you know what's available, what's around. So we are absolutely ecstatic. We're excited. We're at the home stretch. It is on again March 28th and March 29th.
Around the corner, get your
It's
tickets.
around the corner. Get your tickets. There is a
Get your.
capacity at the venue. We can only have so many people. So
Mhm.
please get your tickets. You can get your tickets by going to Acacia Counseling Services
Mhm.
website. It's on there. You can go get your tickets. If you email us, our wellness at
Mhm.
gmail.com. We are, the link is on YouTube. It's
It's
on
it's
Facebook.
on
It's on
Facebook
Mercy
everywhere.
Psychiatry. It's
Everywhere.
everywhere. So, and
Everywhere.
if you're not sure and you're like, I forgot what those ladies said, Google Our Wellness Unlocked. Just Google Our Wellness. You will find us. We have flyers and everything. And so we are absolutely excited about this. It's going to be great. And so you see us on the street, maybe you don't remember, like, isn't
Maybe
that the
you
girl?
still say, hey,
Hey, I will say hey. You
we
say hey
will
to me,
say,
I say hey to
hey.
you, right? And so we will be out networking. You may see us. I'm actually speaking this Thursday at Mental Health America, their
Yes.
49th Adolescent Symposium in Plano. So that's where I'll be Thursday. So
Mhm.
you may see me out in these streets. And if you do, say, hey, what about that conference? And I will
Respond.
text you the
Yes.
link. I want to see you there. I want you to come. We want you to be
We
impacted
want you
in a
to take
powerful way.
ownership of this. Yes.
Yes, you
We
got
want you
this.
to take ownership of this. Let's
Yes,
do this together.
that's the
It is
goal.
an us affair. It is an us building the community
Yes,
affair. It is an us networking affair. And it
yes,
is an us growing
yes.
together
And it's going to
affair.
be great. And
Yes.
remember, wellness begets wellness. Okay. So if you want to be well, we got to be surrounded by wellness.
Why wellness?
Wellness
Why
begets
wellness?
wellness.
Holistic wellness
Yes.
in every areas, whatever area. It may not be mental, it may not be physical, it may not be financial, whatever area
Mhm.
that you're suffering as. Let's come as a community and make growth happen
Yes.
and meet each other and talk about some common things that we can do after this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you're suffering from mental health, come, come. We have a package for you as
We
well.
do. Mm-hmm.
We have a package for you as well.
Yes.
Come. I am
Mm-hmm.
so excited. Each time I think about this, like I said, I get tickles.
Yeah.
And I really want to see how it will impact not just you, not just me, but
Mm-hmm.
us.
Yes. I agree.
Because we are serving the community. Join us to serve my community, your community, our community. It is
Mm-hmm.
very important.
Yeah.
Our kids live in this community. Our
Mm-hmm.
parents live in these communities. We live in the communities.
Mm-hmm.
How can we identify what we can grow
Yeah.
together? Own
Yeah.
it. Make it your own. Get
Yes.
your tickets. Come join us. We will have
Yes.
fun
It'll
and
be a good
connect
time.
and networking as
Yes.
we serve our community collectively.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see you guys. And
Can't
I'm
wait to see
excited
you
to
guys.
host you. We are so excited to host you. And catch up, we'll be doing our podcast. You'll be hearing us. And again, if you see us around, say
Say
something.
hello.
Yes.
Hello, Mercy. Hello, Angela.
Yes.
We would
Yes.
love to partner with you.
Yes. So, our Wellness Unlocked, how to cultivate community connection and wellness conference,
Wellness.
March 28th through
Yes.
March 29th. March 28th, it's from 3
Three,
to 8
three.
p.m. And
Yes.
March 29th, it's 9 to 3 p.m. We
Yes.
are going to take care. You don't have to bring anything. We have snacks and goodies. There'll be
Just show
pumpkin.
up. Get your
Get your
tickets and
tickets.
show up.
And if
Get
you're
your
interested
tickets.
in being a vendor, we have a few vendor
We
spots.
still have
Vendor spots are
$1.
$75 a day. You can
Mhm.
pick Friday or Saturday, or you can have both. Nonprofit vendors, we don't charge
We don't
anything.
charge you. Come
You
on.
can come and you can sell whatever you sell, except alcohol, food, or smoking
Or
products.
smoking
Okay.
products. No.
But other than that, it's clothes, perfume, shoes, things that you sell. You can do that. We also still have some sponsorship spots. We
Mhm.
have platinum sponsorship, bronze, silver,
Bronze,
gold.
silver, gold.
The lowest sponsor slot is $50. The highest is 300,
Let's
and
do
that
this
is all your
together.
marketing. So we have sponsorships available too. And if you're like, I can't make it, I live out the country, I don't
It's
really want to sponsor,
fine.
then maybe you want to donate something. You know what? I
Something.
don't have it, but I want to pay for someone's ticket. I do
Yes.
you need anything? I want to be able to be a part even from afar. Do that too. That is an option. Some of our donors aren't going to be able to be there and they wanted to donate. They wanted to make sure all the snacks were covered. They want to make
Yeah.
sure that the kiddos' crafts were covered.
We're
So
covered.
there's going to be many things to do. So come out. It's in a central location. Come hang out with us. We cannot wait to host you.
Yes, we cannot wait. And like our topic today, how to heal from community setbacks. Some
We're
people
we're we're here
really,
for you. We're
some
here
people
to help
find
you
it,
heal.
whatever kind of setbacks they've been through.
Mhm.
Together, let us heal our community. Let
Yes.
us network together
Yes.
on this conference. We cannot wait to see you guys. We cannot wait to host you. We are your servants serving. Let's join and
Yes.
serve our community.
Yes.
We cannot wait. And
Yes.
see you guys next
See you
time.
guys next time. Have a great Sunday. Take care of
Have a,
yourself.
have a great rest of the week and share the information. Reach out to us privately if you need to. Facebook, TikTok, everywhere you will meet us. So we can't wait to host you. We love you and see you soon.